Welcome back, everybody. This is my second base on this world. First one, I was experimenting a lot with frog ports and chain conveyors and the like, some of the new create stuff. But I couldn't quite figure it out. I figured it out now. I've got a third base. But we're looking at the second base today. I like to use... I'm not very good at moving items around. So I have a computer from the Applied Energistics mod. They're very easy to set up. They're all colorful, so they look complicated, but they're not that... They're really not. They're hooked up to a bunch of peer-to-peer points, or P2P terminals. And you can basically send 8 signals through one of these little terminal boards and decode them down the line. So that's how I'm able to basically hold all of my data in these hard drives. And data, I mean like all my logs and cobble and just everything. Access it here. It's not too bad. I do recommend learning the Applied Energistics mod at least a little bit if you're just starting out in Create, because the new Create factory gauges and frog ports and naming and addresses, it's a lot. I mean, once you figure it out, it makes sense, but it is a lot. So if you just kind of want to like an easy mode-ish, I got this computer mod that I just plop down these export modules, which is tuned to red sand, and it goes into this chest here. And I chose the chest, the ME interface, which came with the computer mod. I chose that because it had the least amount of tiles to fill, so I wouldn't waste. The wire also comes out to the front over the funnel, and that's where I can set my limit. So this is on the washing machine, as you can see here. And to make gold, you wash red sand. So that's why you're looking for, it's exporting red sand, and when it has enough gold, 10,000 in this case, this turns on, which basically turns off the funnel. And then I have monitors out the front that showcase each of the items that I'm automating and how much is in them. That is a lot easier than using frog ports and addresses and all these other things, but Create is very, very fun, and doing all of those complicated things is worth it. So I've been trying to break away from the computer mod, because with the new Create update with frog ports and addresses and chain conveyors and all this stuff, stock links, stock tickers, it's basically the computer mod but with a creative flair. So it's not, you're not making a computer, but you're doing some really complicated stuff that kind of solves all these wires and stuff. This is my tower of machines. I've got a bulk washer in the bottom. You can see it's washing sand right now, which gets clay balls, I think. Up here I've got a smoker, and then a haunter, and then at the very top I've got a blaster. And the way these work is the input comes in from the computer mod, comes out these funnels if it needs to be worked. This mechanical arm has a target of this block here, right on top of that belt. It picks it up, plops it down, and then I've got another funnel and another mechanical arm, and I have this set to a filter. So
That way it doesn't pick up the being processed items, it only picks up the processed items. Because it'll only put stuff that it can put. That's what the filter's for. And it's the same design for each level. I actually had to build a second steam boiler next to the first one because I was running out of power. The cobble generator I brought over from the first base. I'm not making it again. I'm for the third base. I set up a whole train network that I'm working on. I'll just carry over all the cobble manually. It's fine. But this is the cobble generator. It uses pumps at a very high speed and a single spot of lava, and it just gets forced into all of these locations, and each time the board moves it becomes they don't become blocks, and when it gets to the end of the push it becomes blocks again, and it breaks all of the cobble that it generated. I also brought over the crushers. Same idea with the blasters and washers and stuff. There's an I/O, so I bring the wires out. This is the P2P thing, so you don't have to run 8 wires for 8 inputs. You run 1 wire, you have a bunch of these peer-to-peer ports on them, and then you just link them up and hook them up. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just used an entire wire, 1 peer-to-peer point terminal, instead of 8 wires, which would have been a mess. But these are my crushers. I've seen people do them on their sides. I'll have to try that at some point. See if they're, you know, maybe it's better. I might have to rethink a lot of the machines that I'm building anyway, because I'm getting rid of the computer mod. So I might have to rethink this a little bit, but I still want to make big mega machines like this. I've got 2 stampers. I'm currently making clay and iron. I actually took the iron off, and I'm just making clay on both right now because I have 50,000 iron. I don't need any more right now. But I need plenty of clay so I can make terracotta. I want 50,000 terracotta and 50,000 clay. So that's what it's doing. And again, this is all with the computer mod. In the back you've got in the exporters, the chests, funnels, you know, the works. I have a nether wart farm for the first time ever, just because these red nether bricks, you make them with nether wart and nether bricks. So I needed nether wart. Don't usually need nether wart, but I did. Got my mending villager. He has a very expensive mending. I mean, it's 38? Isn't it supposed to be like 29 or 27 or something like that? Like 38 is a lot. Let's see. Let's go up here. I was running out of space, so I started building some machines up here. I've got 2 crafters making diorite, and that's because granite right here and andesite both need diorite to create those recipes. And since you can only make them with a crafter, it's a little slow, takes some time. So I made 2. 1 for each machine, 1 for granite, 1 for the andesite. And once it catches up, it catches up, it's fine. 10k, I mean, it's a lot. You see, I'm using the computer mod. All this is going to have to change when I go fully create, which will be the third section, the third one, which is way over that way, where the train tracks disappear into. I've got this precision mechanism machine with its own computer. So if I take, I don't know if I have gold sheets. Oh, I've got a couple. It automatically fills small cogs, big cogs, and iron ingots as I give it to this. So I just throw the sheets in there, and it goes through. It goes through the chest, and then it goes all the way back around. Oh, see, we're missing small cogs. Just throw them in. Picks it up. It's pretty satisfying to watch. Needs big cogs. Throw in some big cogs, and it always knows exactly where to put them. I don't have it hooked up to my main system because I don't want it to just eat up all my cogs and my materials without, you know, because I had an accident or something. Got 7 precision mechanisms. Nice. And this is my tree farm. It's a 2 gantry setup. 1 plants, 1 harvests. You can see it's triggering now, taking that dark oak. These are the saplings that I just fed it a few minutes ago. I can give it something else. I can throw some more dark oak in there just to show it. It's also got its own computer. That way I don't eat through all my saplings, and just like this thing gets out of control sometimes if it feeds into itself. Which, not that bad of a time. I mean, you get a lot of wood, but it breaks eventually. Something grows in some way that it can't fix. I'm gonna have it send it back. Grab the sapling and plant more saplings. Planted. Easy. Simple design, very effective. They're in these squares. Okay. They're in these squares so that it can plant only in squares of 4, because a lot of these trees need to be in 4s. It also works for like acacia and oak and birch. It'll grow into just a bigger tree. So this pattern of the squares is best. There's my secret rail track that's going off into the distance. I love that look. I'm almost there. Look, I made a bridge. A really long bridge. That's going to be bringing all the cobble over from over here to the other factory, the new factory. The create-only factory. Okay, now down here, we have basically a vanilla sheep farm. I learned a lot about hoppers when I was making this. Made a lot of mistakes. I didn't look anything up. I just wanted to figure it out myself. I'm using these powered toggle latches just to turn on and off the dispensers once every 2 minutes. You can force it just by clicking that lever. And now everybody's naked. And it all gets connected or collected by the hopper conveyor down underneath, which can take items from above blocks, which hoppers cannot. The item has to be on top of the hopper in order for it to go in. It can't just teleport from above. So that's why on this side I have a few of these hoppers feeding into these chests. And then the computer system just sucks out the items in the chests and sends them back to the main computer. So I can just go like this and scroll through my 10 billion items. Well, I think that's about it. That's my walkthrough for this second attempt. This is the create mod setup that I learned with the Applied Energistics mod. And I want to get really into create. I want to make crazy machines. I want to use frog ports, factory gauges. I learned how to figure out those earlier today, which is a pain. They're pretty complicated. But it works. It works pretty well. I love the chain conveyors. I guess I can show you guys a little bit of what I was working on. This is more of a concept which grabs iron iron ingots, presses them, waits for 9 iron ingots in this chest, and then triggers the packager. The packager creates a package labeled storage, and it gets eaten up by this frog port, which throws it back up on that thing, and storage is over here. Going the wrong way. Is this storage? Oh no, storage is on the back. Here it is. Labeled storage. Grabs them off there. And it just goes into any one of these. It really don't matter. It really doesn't matter where everything is, because I can then access it. I found out how to hook up these stock links. So I can access all of that with a single stock ticker instead of having 3 or 4 or 7 or whatever. I like that the chain conveyors can provide power. That cleans up things so much. That's so much better than running crazy belt systems and shafts a mile long. Way better. But this is my concept. With the packagers and the frog ports and the chain conveyors. More to come. But that's all for today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, you know the deal. Love you guys to bits. I'll see you in the next one.